Welcome to Acute Conversations, the official podcast of APT Acute Care, where we share engaging conversations about acute care physical therapy so you can connect to your profession. I'm your host, Leo Arguelles, and in today's episode, we take you to CSM 2025, Houston, after the APT Acute Care Business Meeting, Guest Lecture Award, and social event. Thank you to all of our guests for this episode. I had a blast catching up with all of them. Enjoy the episode. All right, we're here at CSM. I'm coming off nominating committee because I've been serving for 3 years, and so I've stepped off of nominating committee, and now for APT Acute Care nominating committee, the chair is
Leslie Ayers.
Leslie Ayers.
Yes.
So, Leslie, what are we going to do now for nominating? Tell us a little bit about nominating committee if people are interested, especially for this upcoming year, what nominating committee does.
Yes, absolutely. Nominating committee, I think, is the best because you get to know all the different people and kind of what everybody does in the Acute Care Academy. So it's really a great opportunity to be able to kind of find out, to get your feet wet. If that's something that you're new at, you want to try to be in leadership, but you're not quite sure what you want to do, you can kind of find out what everybody does. You get to meet a lot of different people. You get to see what they're up to. We have opportunities for special interest group chairs and vice presidents. We have opportunities on the board. So lots of fun things. It's always just a great way to meet people and become involved in the academy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So check out the website. We're going to be looking for people this upcoming year to run and be installed in 2026. So check out the website. We'll see you soon.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. I have with me Barb Smith, who is going to be the 2026 Lecture Award winner for APT Acute Care. Barb, what does that mean?
Hey, so this is exciting stuff. It's a huge honor, number one, and the Lecture Award really it's an opportunity to discuss maybe an area where the Academy has come from, where we're going to, from a perspective of an individual who's been a part of the Academy community and of course, I guess my area of interest and emphasis has been in research. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not going to be a data talk, but we probably will talk a little bit about research.
So it'll be CSM 2026, Anaheim, California. You'll have you'll have a lecture to give to everyone, just kind of talk about what's going on with the Academy, and especially how instrumental. A lot of people talk about their history in the Academy, and again, you have been instrumental with helping people with their research, helping out with the journal, getting people published, and kind of like taking their research ideas and kind of really kind of putting it together. I think part of it too is you were helping set things up with was it the scholarship
The
opportunities?
foundation.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure. So acute care research, we do offer some seed grant funding, but we really wanted to have an opportunity for our members just to go a little bigger. And the foundation offers research grants, and we wanted to ensure that some of that grant funding would be designated specifically for acute care or ICU or acute related clinical reach. So it's for our people, to really put forth the research mission and the needs that we have for our evidence base.
Which is really cool because, that was Dr. Dale Needham's talk today, talking about research, where it's been and kind of moving forward and how we need more research. So if there's acute care clinicians that are out there that are looking to be more involved with research, this is the person to talk to, Barb Smith.
Absolutely, yeah, I would love it. Welcome at any time.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I have with me Jen Ryan from Northwestern, and you gave a talk today about the acute care section and some big things that might be happening. So what's going on with our specialization?
What might be going on? So APT Acute Care is supporting the initiative to seek specialization for acute care as a specialty. Right now, the petition we have is with ABPTS, and so they're considering our argument to see acute care as a unique and independent area of practice that then offers specialty level practice as well.
Excellent. And how long have you been working on this already now, or you and all the other and all the other people
Yes.
that are behind the scenes trying to make this work?
The long answer is since 2007. 2007, we submitted a petition that we subsequently withdrew because it wasn't as comprehensive as it needed to be. There then was a lot of dialogue to really understand, is this where we want to go? Is this where practice is heading? Da-da-da-da-da. But at the same time, at around 2012, people were seeing that we had published a practice analysis survey in 2010, and they were starting critical care fellowships, and all sorts of research was coming forward. And so in 2019, we started this petition yet again, and what we've submitted to ABPTS so far has so much more evidence than the previous submission. It speaks volumes to what we have done as an area of practice. We have 17 accredited residencies, which speaks to the fact that we have a unique area of practice if a residency can be built around it.
Absolutely.
So we're using all of that data. We're using the data that has come forth within the literature, and we're using all the evidence of all the continuing education courses that are out there to help individuals understand what it means to practice in acute care as an independent professional and in a collegial way with interprofessional colleagues.
So there's a lot of people that have been doing a lot of boots to the ground work. All the researchers that are out there, thank you so much.
Yes.
For all the people with your residencies, Bev Fine, and the people that have started residencies.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Most
because
definitely.
we're just making more headway with APT acute care and specialization.
Most definitely.
Thank you, Vice President.
Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Vice President.
Thank you, Podcast King.
Oh, I don't know about that. Jen Ryan, UIC alum.
Yes. UIC alum.
That's right.
Yes.
Take care. All right, I'm here with Preethi, who is a physical therapist from
Houston Methodist.
Oh, you're here. This is your hometown.
This is my hometown.
So we were talking, and I overheard her say that she listens to our APT Acute Care Conversations podcast religiously. So tell me, how are you liking CSM so far?
CSM so far has been great. A lot of excellent programming and different sections. I've learned a lot, and it's so great to see my peers excel and me learn all this great information. So thank you.
Awesome. I would like to ask you a question. What would you like to see on future podcast episodes? What do you think would be some good ideas?
I think acute care section has done a really great job with the lab values. So maybe case series about incorporating the different lab values, I'm sure will be of benefit to the novice and the senior clinician. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, and thank you for being a subscriber.
Thank you for doing all that you do. Yeah, it's excellent. You do an excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Take care. All right, I have with me Sarah Harrison. Now, we go a long way back. First of all, I'm in the presence of greatness because you were the very, very first CCS ever of all time, or from Chicago. What's the story?
No, I was the first University of Chicago fellow in critical care PT.
So I'm in the presence of greatness. And so while she was at UIC, she actually helped train me and got me ready to be in academia. And so I took some of her classes when she moved out of Chicago because she went to Colorado, and now you are in Georgia? No, Atlanta.
Well, Walla Walla, Washington. I live in Walla Walla, but I'm at South College, Atlanta.
I see. So I wanted to ask you, how is CSM going so far? How are you liking it?
It's going real great. I met my hero, DPTs with Anxiety. She gave me a sticker. Follow her on Instagram.
Fantastic.
She's real funny. I fangirled really hard. I'm a little embarrassed by it.
That's fantastic. So a pitch for DPTs with anxiety. Is it DPTs with anxiety or just PTs?
DPTs with anxiety.
But what about the PTs with anxiety?
Well, I don't know. They're not our problem.
They just hide it well. Oh, here's a good question. Where do you work?
Clinically?
Yes.
I don't have time. I'm a DCE.
Yeah. Oh, we're both DCEs.
That's right.
We should do a podcast talking about students. We should do an episode about students. Oh, here's a good question for you. Do you require all of your students to go through an acute care rotation?
Not acute care. We do require inpatient, but not necessarily acute care. I truly don't think that acute care is for everybody.
I agree too.
I'm learning how to talk to the students through what is it? What are your interests? What are you game for? How do you
But they have to be exposed to some of that, whether it's some type of inpatient setting. And definitely that's going to be instrumental to their clinical education.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Thank you, Sarah, for being here.
You're welcome.
All right, we brought Sarah back because she needs to be engaged in rapid responses. So we're going to ask her quick questions, and you're just going to say right away what's the first thing that comes to mind. You ready?
No.
Okay, and go. What is your most favorite scrub color?
Army green.
What type of shoes do you wear when you're working on acute care?
Well, I'll show you.
What are those, by the way?
Dansko.
Dansko. Okay, what's your favorite way to exercise?
Yoga sculpt.
Favorite, what do you like to put on your pizza?
All of the vegetables.
All the vegetables.
And a lot of cheese. A lot of cheese.
Favorite dessert?
Donuts.
Is a hot dog considered a sandwich?
No.
Fantastic. And your last question is, you know you're working on acute care when?
You get pee on your pants. And it's not yours.
You've survived acute, the rapid responses. Thank you very much,
That's right.
Sarah. All right. I have with me here our education chair that was newly installed by me as I was outgoing as the nominating committee chair. We have Archana Vatwani.
Hi.
Congratulations, you've been
Thank you
installed.
so much.
Fantastic. And I also have with me a previous guest on our podcast, Bobby Belarmino.
Hello. I'm the virtual education chair. Good to see you guys.
So what I want to ask is, how are you guys enjoying CSM 2025 so far in Houston?
It's always amazing to get together with all our great professionals from different areas. And it's nice to see the diversity in the topics being produced as well. Seeing your colleagues and friends getting awarded and all the wonderful work that they're doing. So it's fantastic. Exhausting, but fantastic.
She's been trying to run away from me because she didn't want to be part of the podcast, but I chased her down. You know, I have my motivation skills, my motivational interviewing that I learned from my acute care rotations back in the day.
To be partying this late.
Bobby, tell me, how are you liking CSM so far?
Oh, number one, I'm so glad that CSM is in H-Town. I used to live here for many years, so it's just like, it's like familiar going back to your old neighborhood. So this is great. CSM is always a shot in the arm for me because of the collaboration. You're meeting good friends, new friends, and all in all, the passion for the profession is there. Because of the topics, the diversity of the topics, you learn something new, and there's always something to do with CSM. So CSM is always a fun and a good shot in the arm.
Absolutely. Have there been any sections that really stood out to you? You're like, wow, I'm so happy I was able to go to this education section.
So because I'm in academia, I try to do a little bit of everything. I thought all of the sections had great presentations. I've gone to quite a few of geriatrics, education, acute care, cardiovascular and pulmonary, leadership and innovation. So just getting like an eclectic blend of all these presentations. People are doing phenomenal work in our profession. It's fantastic to see the different unique perspectives of different professionals, and I think PT is just expanding, and I'm so proud of where we're going.
Bobby, I have a question for you. Because this used to be your town, what type of food do you recommend for me to eat here in Houston?
Oh, number one, I'm biased. Filipino food.
Filipino food? What kind of Filipino food? Tell me. That hits me right in the heart and in the belly. So what type of Filipino food?
Adobo.
Oh, man. Where do I get good adobo here in Houston?
Anywhere. There's one thing about the Houston is it's diversity. You get so many people, different background, different foods. This is one of the melting pot for cultural food. So if you want a good, any kind of, food, especially if you want to get Filipino food, there's a lot of Filipino restaurants here. So all of them are equally good. So go for it and get those lumpia, get those pancit, everything. Filipinos, therapists, come on in, join CSM, join the acute care, because every one of us, we're the same.
Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm going to enjoy some Filipino food. Just don't tell my mom that it's going to be really good over here in Houston. Thanks. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Leah.
All right, I am here with Rajashree, who won one of the awards. Can you tell us what award you won today at the APT Acute Care meeting?
Hey, thank you. So I won the Catherine Harris Award for Best Educator, and one of our colleagues and friends nominated me for this award, and I feel so honored. Thank you.
Awesome. And how are you liking CSM so far?
I enjoy it. I mean, I've been attending CSM for a while, except during COVID, which I did on demand. So I always enjoy coming to them, looking at new presentation, new ideas, and best of all, networking and seeing people from all over the country and what they're doing.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on your award. Now, I didn't know that. I just found this out that Houston is your hometown. Now, I just asked Bobby what his favorite food was, and he said Filipino food. But I'm going to ask you, what's your most favorite food here in Houston? Because I'm from Chicago. So if I want to try some food here in Houston, what do you recommend?
So I do, unfortunately, I'm vegetarian, but my husband is not. So we do go out and eat all kind of food. I know they love the barbecue. We love the Mexican, of course. And then, of course, Indian. There's lots of Indian restaurants, too.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for the recommendations.
Thank
and again,
you.
congratulations on your
Thank
award.
you. Appreciate it.
All right, I am here with the man, the APTA Acute Care Lecturer Award winner, James Tompkins. Thank you so much for being here. And let me just say, again, my story of when I met James is way back in Chicago. You were doing the lab values, continuing education.
Yeah, must have been 8-10 years ago.
Yeah. And I forgot something dropped on the floor and you just started doing burpees. I'm like, this guy is the man. So I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you,
so
Leo.
much for being here. And he's also a fan of the podcast, so thank you so much.
Yes, I am a fan of the podcast. I enjoy it and listen to it when I'm working out.
Fantastic. What's your most favorite way to work out?
Probably I like the Stairmaster.
Stairmaster, okay.
In the old days, it was to do burpees or do CrossFit, but the body's gotten aged.
Okay, so we're going to do a quick game. It's only going to be about a minute.
Okay.
You've listened to our podcast.
I do.
Rapid responses.
I never thought I'd be on this end of it.
Here we go. So don't overthink it, just as fast as you can.
Okay.
Ready? All right, and go. James, what's your most favorite scrub color?
White.
What type of shoe do you wear on acute care?
I always wear the same dark leather shoes that I'm wearing currently.
Fantastic. I already asked you your favorite way to exercise. Give me another podcast recommendation, something else that you listen to.
I like, there's a Championship Leadership by, I think it's John Eads. Okay. And it gives you pearls and life stories about how to be a better leader.
Fantastic. Give me a book recommendation maybe for a PT student that's getting through PT school.
A book recommendation for PT school?
Yeah. Or just any type of book recommendation. It doesn't have to be PT related. Do you have any good books for PT students?
Oh, man, for PT, I can't think of one right
now. How about just a generic, a good book recommendation? Because during your lecture, you had a number of different really good books that you featured.
Most of what I read are leadership books. So I would highly recommend The Human Margin. Okay. And it is speaking about prioritizing the human component of healthcare.
Fantastic. On your pizza, what type of toppings do you like?
I like spinach and fresh tomatoes and garlic.
Fantastic. And your last question is, you're on acute care when?
Oh, when you have a Code Brown.
Code Brown. Exactly. When there's a number 2 and there's cleanup on aisle 4. So, James, again, thank you so much. Congratulations on your award.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, sir.
I love what you guys do.
Thank you so much. Okay. I have with me Carline, and your last name, Lipic?
Lipic, yeah.
Okay, I have with me here Carline Lipic, who is an acute care PT at Northwestern Hospital, which is in Chicago. Fantastic hospital. There's a lot of UIC alums over at Northwestern. But the reason I called Carline here is to talk about Kim Levenhagen. That used to be your professor, is that correct?
She was, yeah. She was a great mentor of mine when I was at SLU, St. Louis University.
And another one of your mentors is Rich Severin, right?
Oh, yes. And when I first moved to Chicago, I was paired up with him through the IPTA. And he's been great as well, yeah.
Shout out to Rich. Quick story about Rich Severin. I think this morning, Saturday, this is Friday. So Friday morning, February 14th, he flew out to Philadelphia for the parade and came back the same day here to Houston. But the reason I have Carline here is because I want to talk about Dr. Kim Levenhagen, because that used to be your professor, and you guys used to play bingo with some of her phrases. Can you please explain us what this bingo looked like?
Oh yeah, it was one of my friends from PT school put it together, and it was just a couple of catchphrases that Kim would say a lot during her session, and then you would all have bingo cards, and you would put a little thing down. She said, "Star this slide," or something of that nature.
So some of her lines is "Star this slide."
Oh,
Star this slide.
That was a big one because you knew it was going to be on the test. Yeah.
So "Star this slide." What else? What else were some fantastic Kim Levenhagen phrases?
To be honest, it's been a while. I can't really remember off the top of my head exactly what they were.
She had some good one-liners today during our student meeting.
She did, actually, because we were seeing if she was going to be at CSM because we were going to bring the same bingo slides out for it, but
She was going to present.
But yeah, we were all disappointed. Some of us wanted to go to. She had an 8-9 hour lecture, I think, before CSM, and we all almost signed up for it so that we could play bingo.
A 9-hour lecture?
Yeah, it was all about the new lab values. Yeah.
9 hours.
I'm pretty sure
Only
that's what they said, yeah.
Dr. Levenhagen can do a 9-hour lab values talk and make it exciting with all of her fantastic jokes. So, Dr. Levenhagen, we love you. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here at CSM. I'm here at CSM with two former podcast guests. We have Dan Milner, who I interviewed for Bridge the Gap, and I have James Crick, who's been on this. I think this is the third time you're featured again. So you're a frequent flyer. Is it the fourth time?
4 times, including CSM last year.
That's right.
Something similar after one of my sessions.
Frequent flyer here at Acute Conversations. And so just like the episode before, we had talked about these conversations that just kind of flourish. So you guys just kind of riff back and forth. I'm just walking around. I see the two of you getting into a really deep conversation about some research. So I just wanted to ask, what was the conversation about?
Data. Like data analysis, collecting data, the use of data. Like every session that I've been to has some data, nice graphic, and I just feel like I'm going to go home and just try to utilize that and figure out how we can start collecting and using that for our own outcome measures, QI projects. Like we already do it for our joint program. It has like really extensive data, looking at metrics and how we've improved over the 8-10 years of the program, but the Joint Center program is such a microcosm and select group, and we're talking about like how do we extrapolate that to just the whole rehab department as far as dealing with patients in the ED, like decreasing opiate prescriptions by the MDs down there, looking at the ICU, decreasing vent days, like it's just all encompassing. And here's the mind here that hey, that's what he does.
So how did you get roped into this conversation, James?
Well, I'm going to throw a huge shout out to Dan. Dan was part of one of my dissertation studies. I'm not gonna unblind him necessarily, but I'm just gonna throw it out and say thank you once again. I think it's incumbent upon us as acute care therapists or acute care operational leaders that if we genuinely believe that there's value to the services provided within the hospital setting, we have to demonstrate that. We are in an age of data and technology availability, and so we don't have the ability to stand and say, well, we think we're doing a good job or we think we're seeing the right patients. And so what we were talking about is sort of a little bit of a reprisal, and I've apologized twice already to Dan, trying to say I'm not trying to pitch our pre-con really hard, but we've done a pre-con the last couple of years with operational leaders and researchers and administrators who have really spent a lot of time thinking through and kind of building the bike, so to speak, for how we demonstrate the value of rehab services in hospital settings. And so what we were talking about is contextualizing that to Dan's situation right now, trying to think through what data reports are existing, how it makes sense for his organization, how you begin to have those conversations. And so, he's given a great example here of his total joint program, where there is opportunity already to be able to start to extract out and analyze and influence. And we're not talking about research necessarily, to be able to assess the influence of rehabilitation providers on short stay total joint patients, right? And so, some of the things that we were talking about includes like, is there value for our rehab providers to be there? And if so, is that for everybody or is it for certain patients? And if we have a constrained resource, which in pretty much every hospital it's constrained, does it make more sense that we're seeing those short stay rehab patients, or does it make more sense that we have those therapists instead in the ICU seeing our most medically complex, challenging patients who have more functional impairments? And I'm not suggesting I have all of those answers, but it's the right questions to be asking. And so going back to, again, our data to delivery pre-con is trying to help to facilitate these conversations for very, very identifiable tangible next steps for hospital systems to be able to take in their journey to demonstrating the value of the rehab services provided.
That's amazing. Again, I love coming to CSM and hearing these kind of conversations just kind of blossom and meeting of the minds and exchange of information. So thanks so much for sharing your story.
Thank you, Leo.
Yeah, thanks,
awesome. Leo. All right, I have with me here Bini Thomas, who is our treasurer, the treasurer for the APT Acute Care section. And you had some great announcements to give to our academy during this meeting today. Let all of our listeners know how are we doing in terms of finances from the Treasury Department.
Leo, we are actually doing really well. Our financial forecast from last year compared to this year, we are actually in a much better spot. We have a lot more income in terms of what we were forecasting as opposed to what was realized. The good thing is that we've been able to support the academy, and we've been able to support our SIGs, our focus groups, our additional leadership that has come into play. As an academy, we are growing, and that's the bottom line. So we have a lot more people who are investing in the academy, and we are supporting in the academy work. So we are glad that we are able to support them, and in spite of all of that, we are actually being able to bring in some revenues into the academy. So I'm really grateful for that.
Fantastic. And SIG stands for Special Interest Groups, right?
That is correct.
And then we've been doing a lot of, we've been generating some revenue from the education, right?
One of the main drivers for our revenue is our conferences. So that's Bridge the Gap, CSM, the pre-cons, and so from all of those we've realized quite a bit of money, and so thank you to our membership, thank you to our people who have signed up, thank you to all those who have attended. We are really grateful for that, and we want to give those money back to the membership. We want to be able to support the members and provide resources for you and provide whatever it is that you need to excel in your profession and be supportive to for you to grow in your profession, really.
Absolutely. And looking at the membership, I think what was a really cool number is how many students are part, right?
Absolutely. So this past year we've been able to provide free membership to our student body, and so we know that the students are the future of our profession. So we've been really fortunate that we have provided the free membership to our students, our residents. So that's been a really positive thing for us this year.
So members out there, thank you so much for being part of APT Acute Care and supporting the academy, and then also for all your students out there, thank you so much for joining. I mean, it's free, but then in terms of the resources that you have access to, I think it's priceless. So thank you so much for supporting the academy.
Yes, and absolutely. If I can say just one more thing, there are so many resources out there for students, before your clinical experiences, for you to excel in your programs. So make use of what we have. Lab value, resources, CPGs, all those things that are going to really help you excel as a clinician. We have those. So please utilize those resources.
Yeah, you can find that at the website. So awesome. Bini, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Leo. Thank you so much. Pleasure.
All right, I have students here from Utica University. These are the aspiring pupils of Molly Hickey, who is hiding outside of frame right now. But I just wanted to ask, is this your first CSM for you students?
Some of us.
Bye.
So how are you liking CSM so far?
I love it so much.
It's very overwhelming, but it's also very fun to see everyone's passions and stuff.
Very cool. Tell me maybe one of the sections that really kind of hit home for you. Were there any good sections, any of the education sections that were like, man, this was great for me to come and learn about?
I went to a concussion one, and it was really, really cool to learn about right from day one how you're treating that patient on field or in wherever they were injured, and then seeing them to the full recovery. It was pretty cool.
Awesome. Excellent. What else? Any other sections you guys went to?
Like I know it's like really interesting for all of us to kind of like go to our own sections and like kind of split off and find like what we like, which is really nice. So like I personally have like been going to a lot of pediatrics ones because like that's what I'm interested in, and it's like really good to like learn things that I feel like we aren't getting in like our regular curriculum that are like extra things that we can learn and take with us when we go to like say our clinicals or on when we're done with school.
Fantastic. Let's go into the fun questions. We're going to ask you questions about your professor, Molly Hickey. Are there any lines that Professor Hickey says that she maybe does not know about? Are there any one-liners? Are there things that she says repetitively that stick out in your minds?
She loves the action of like brains coming out. Yes.
When she gets off topic, she just says squirrel, and then we go back into real content.
When she's ready to go to sleep, she says, "I'm going to be supine by 4."
So now I got them talking. You asked them, what was your most favorite CSM moment? They're like, oh, we had some session, but we're going to talk about their professor. They've got plenty of things. So how about some other questions? What's Professor Hickey's most favorite thing to eat for lunch?
The calf food.
The all-inclusive calf food, but she really likes the homemade soups.
Yes, the weekly soups. Very interesting. The potato and leek is really good.
Yeah. And if you get on her good side, she'll actually take you to the calf on a date.
Here's something great. Name what's one thing that you've learned in Professor Hickey's classes that have stuck with you? Ooh, what did you learn?
That like our care needs to be like more than just like what we're learning in school, and it needs to be like an overall like we like need to. I'm trying to like put the words in. If anyone can help me out, like we need like our like the whole person. We need to like care for the whole person and like. Yeah.
Always advocating for more, making sure that if you are stuck at like a road stop with your patient, the answer is not to just like be like, okay, you need to advocate, figure out everything. So
that I agree.
It's not just an open heart surgery patient. There's so much more.
What else? Oh, she just like that we're the same level as a doctor. I feel like people don't realize that PTs are just as good as a doctor, that we can diagnose people even before other doctors do, especially like in emergency care.
Absolutely. I mean, hence the title of Doctor of Physical Therapy. I will say that right before these students got on, Molly Hickey said this is her proud mom moment. So you make Utica and Dr. Hickey proud. Thank you so much, students from Utica University. Awesome. All right, come over into frame here. There we go. All right, I have with me the 2026. Oh my God, why am I freezing too? 2026 Lecture Award winner. I need to get a drink. That's what's going to happen. Okay.
Have you had one yet?
Not yet. Don't worry. I'm going to get it. We got this. Right? All right.
Take
three.